Good morning and welcome to Be My Guest Plus, brought to you by the YMCA. Our guest this morning, as you can see, Two Rivers City Manager Greg Buckley. Thanks for joining us today, Greg.
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure. We really went through a lot of things this morning that are going on in Two Rivers, but one of the special things you have going on is you'll be having your own visitor and information center, and you have some news on that.
Actually, just last week we brought on board Amy James in a consulting capacity. Amy is from Neenah. She and her husband Adam have Vision Architecture, and we've come to know her initially through their firm, but she also has a background in tourism and organizational development. She was the first tourism director for the Wapaka Area Chamber, also served for about 8 years as executive director of Future Neenah. Neenah's downtown and community organization, which did have some dealings with the Fox Cities Visitor Convention Bureau as well. Her role is not to be our full-time tourism coordinator, but to help provide some strategic direction for our community development department and our room tax commission, which oversees how room tax dollars are spent, as to the best structure and strategy for Two Rivers to promote tourism going forward. We've already benefited a lot from the extent of her contacts in the tourism industry, and we will be setting about creating our own Two Rivers focused not-for-profit 501c6 to handle a lot of tourism promotion with funding provided through the Room Tax Commission. Obviously, we don't have access to as many resources as we have historically, working jointly with Manitowoc through the Visitor Convention Bureau, but we're going to make the best of the situation, and the good news is Two Rivers room tax revenues, as an indicator of visitor activity, have been trending very, very nicely in recent years. Up until 2021, up until 2020, we were running maybe $114,000 to $118,000 a year in annual room tax receipts from the 8% room tax. In 2020, we saw that rise to over $140,000 with the addition of the Cobblestone mid-year that year, 55 new rooms. We continue to see a lot of growth with individual vacation rentals, the VRBO type rentals around the community. There are 33 of them licensed in Two Rivers right now, and they're accounting for in the neighborhood of 20% of our room tax revenues. So I mentioned, in the low 140s in 2020. 2021 just concluded, we were at about $243,000 in room tax revenues. So, there were some things that kind of boosted that. Specifically last year, having the Ryder Cup right down the road kind of drove up room rates for a week there. And in Two Rivers, we had a lot of impact in the off season from the solar facilities being built out near the Point Beach nuclear plant. So that may have juiced the numbers a little bit last year, but we are budgeting this year anticipating $200,000 in room tax revenue. So we're going to get there, and we're going to frankly continue working this year, at least, with the Manitowoc Area Visitor and Convention Bureau, which still is an entity, still has full-time staff, has relocated since they got evicted by the city, from Calumet Avenue over to offices on Dewey Street. They have resources. Their charge is still to promote tourism in the greater area, and we intend to partner well with them, just as we have through the years. Likewise, we're engaging in more dialogue with Two Rivers Main Street, Two Rivers Business Association, to make sure we're directing our resources as effectively and efficiently as possible, because tourism is a major growth sector in the local economy. All of that said, the two cities may have parted ways, at least under the MAVCB umbrella, and there is some litigation going on in the background, as we know. Visitors still come to our area and don't see a demilitarized zone at Woodland Drive. These two communities in many ways are one destination. We are stronger together, as trite as that might sound, and I have every confidence we're going to have ongoing dialogue and communication between TR and Manitowoc, so we can best serve visitor needs. Call me an optimist, but I firmly believe that's the case.
Well, thanks a lot
always a pleasure.
For that explanation. And if you'd like to hear more, go to WOMTradio.com/podcast. For Be My Guest Plus and the YMCA, I'm Lee Douglas.